The distant star system of Xylaris shimmered in the void, its twin suns casting pale light across a world of towering crystal cities and floating platforms. On one of the largest platforms, the Zetherian Imperial Palace, preparations were underway for a diplomatic meeting that would decide the fate of relations between humans and Zetherians. Inside the palace, Empress Lysara, at just 24, moved with elegance and authority. Her skin shimmered faintly under the light, a sign of her noble lineage, and her eyes held a calculating gleam. Despite her youth, she had already earned the loyalty of her people and the fear of her enemies. Today, however, curiosity stirred within her. A delegation from Earth was expected, and she had heard much about their soldiers sturdy, adaptable, and, according to reports, reckless. Among the human delegation was Captain Marcus Hale, a soldier whose reputation preceded him. Unlike the Empress, Marcus had grown up on a world of vast oceans and open skies, where survival depended not on status or power, but on skill, determination, and teamwork. He was aware that to many Zetherians, humans seemed fragile, almost primitive. Yet, he carried himself with quiet confidence, ready for the unknown. The grand hall of the palace was vast, walls adorned with alien murals depicting ancient conquests and starship battles. High above, crystal chandeliers refracted light in 1,000 directions, giving the impression of a galaxy contained within the hall. Marcus stepped forward with measured steps, flanked by his team, feeling the weight of countless alien eyes upon him. Empress Lysara rose from her throne, her tall, graceful frame commanding attention. She studied the humans with a hint of amusement. "So," she said in a voice that echoed through the hall, "these are the soldiers of Earth. You stand proud, yet so small compared to the might of the Zetherian Empire." Marcus straightened his posture. His armor, though simple compared to the ornate Zetherian designs, was functional and clean. Size does not always determine strength. "Your Majesty," he replied calmly, his voice steady despite the alien scrutiny. A ripple of laughter spread among the Zetherian counselors. Lysara tilted her head, smiling faintly. "Oh, a bold one. You think your words carry weight here?" She took a few steps closer, the air shimmering slightly around her as she moved, a subtle display of power. "Your kind believes courage can outweigh wisdom and strategy. Tell me, human, how would you fare in a true battle against Zetherian forces?" Marcus met her gaze without flinching. "I cannot speak for all humans, Your Majesty. But I know that when a human faces a challenge, we adapt, we learn, and we fight together. That is how we survive." The Empress raised an eyebrow, intrigued despite herself. Most species would tremble or attempt flattery, yet Marcus spoke with neither fear nor arrogance. It was rare to see a creature so small, yet so unshakable. She decided to test him further. "Very well," she said, her tone teasing. "Let us see if your confidence is justified. You will participate in a ceremonial demonstration of tactics. Perhaps then we shall see if human ingenuity can match Zetherian strategy." Marcus nodded. "As you wish." The ceremonial grounds were a sprawling area of polished platforms and holographic projections. It was here that Zetherians demonstrated combat prowess. Not with live weapons, but with complex simulations that tested intellect, agility, and decision-making. Humans were allowed to participate only as observers, and Marcus's presence there was unusual. As the demonstration began, Marcus studied the holographic battlefield. Enemies appeared as simulations, moving with unpredictable patterns. Most humans would have hesitated, overwhelmed by the speed and complexity. But Marcus did not falter. He gave calm, precise commands to his team, coordinating movements with clarity and foresight. Lysara watched from a distance, her expression unreadable. She had expected the human to falter, perhaps to stumble under the unfamiliar technology, yet he moved with ease, adapting to the simulations faster than any Zetherian cadet she had ever trained. One of the simulations presented a particularly difficult scenario: a flanking maneuver by multiple holographic opponents simultaneously. Most Zetherian soldiers would have panicked, retreating to safe zones. But Marcus anticipated the move. He split his team strategically, covering all angles, and neutralized the threats efficiently. Whispers spread among the observers. He is faster at decision-making than any human we've seen," one officer murmured. Lysara's eyes narrowed. She was not used to being surprised. Her people were considered the most advanced tacticians in the sector. Yet this human demonstrated a different kind of strength. It was not sheer power, nor the intricate technology he wielded, but the ability to adapt and remain calm under pressure. When the demonstration concluded, Marcus's team had achieved a flawless result. He bowed slightly to Lysara, acknowledging the audience, yet said nothing boastful. His quiet confidence contrasted sharply with the Empress's own flamboyant pride. Lysara approached him afterward, curiosity mixed with a rare sense of humility. "I admit," she said softly, though her tone carried authority, "I underestimated you, human. You possess qualities few of my people can claim." Marcus looked up at her. "Respect is earned, Your Majesty, not assumed. I only do my duty, as any soldier would." The Empress studied him for a long moment, noticing the calm determination in his eyes. She realized that humans were unpredictable in ways that her species rarely accounted for, and perhaps that was why they had survived and thrived across countless worlds. For the rest of the day, she observed him quietly. Even during feasts and formal meetings, Marcus carried himself with a natural ease. He spoke only when necessary, but when he did, his words carried weight. Zetherians who tried to belittle him were often met with subtle, logical counterpoints, which left the Empress secretly amused. By evening, Marcus and his team were preparing to return to their ship. Lysara walked to a balcony overlooking the city, watching them leave. The suns were setting, casting long shadows across the crystalline towers. She remained silent, contemplating what she had witnessed. It was unusual for her to admire anyone, let alone a member of a species considered inferior by most Zetherians. Yet Marcus had shown her something unique, a combination of courage, intelligence, and unshakable composure. Though she would never openly admit it, she respected him. As the human shuttle lifted off the platform, Lysara's eyes followed it into the sky. She felt a flicker of curiosity about what these humans might accomplish in the galaxy. Perhaps one day, she would see their potential fully realized. For now, she simply watched quietly, a silent acknowledgement of the strength she had observed in a single human soldier. The night descended over Xilaris, and the stars above seemed to sparkle with promise. Somewhere among them, humanity's story was just beginning, and Lysara, the young Empress, had witnessed a small part of it, a part that challenged her assumptions and planted a seed of respect that would grow in the days to come. And though the world around her was filled with power and politics, she realized that sometimes the smallest, quietest individuals could leave the deepest impression. The following days were unusually tense in the Zetherian Imperial Palace. Empress Lysara could not stop thinking about the human soldier, Captain Marcus Hale, whose quiet confidence and clever mind had unsettled her expectations. Most of her advisors urged her to dismiss humans as insignificant. But Lysara knew better. Marcus had shown a resourcefulness rare even among her own people. Curiosity gnawed at her. Though bound by protocol and the weight of her position, she decided to follow the humans discreetly during their stay on Xilaris, to observe them outside formal ceremonies. Using subtle cloaking devices, known only to the imperial family, Lysara drifted among the crystal towers, watching Marcus and his team as they interacted with the alien environment. The humans were unlike any Zetherian group she had observed. They were cooperative, sharing ideas freely and adjusting strategies based on circumstances. Marcus moved among them, listening as much as he spoke. He asked questions that seemed simple at first, yet they revealed a deep understanding of alien technology and terrain. At one point, the human team faced a simulated obstacle, a collapsed energy bridge spanning a deep chasm. Zetherians had prepared complex plans to bypass it using energy levitation platforms, but the humans found a more efficient solution. Marcus studied the bridge carefully, then instructed his team to attach portable stabilizers to weakened sections. With minimal resources, they restored safe passage. Lysara's interest deepened. She had expected humans to struggle, yet here they were, adapting faster than many of her own officers. For the first time, she began to see a fundamental difference between her species and humans. Zetherians relied on inherited knowledge and hierarchy, while humans relied on innovation and cooperation. Later, she observed Marcus in a negotiation exercise with local Zetherian engineers. A simulated malfunction had trapped several automated drones, and Marcus quickly identified the problem: a misalignment in the drone's energy circuits. He suggested a manual reroute, explaining each step in simple, logical terms. The engineers were impressed. Some Zetherians whispered among themselves, questioning why an alien soldier had solved a problem that had stumped their best minds. Though Lysara could not openly interfere, she felt a strange admiration for the human. He possessed no magical powers, no advanced alien technology, yet he commanded respect through skill, patience, and clear reasoning. It was a rare sight, and Lysara found herself watching longer than was customary. That evening, a crisis arose. A rogue asteroid had entered the Zelaris system, its trajectory threatening both the human camp and nearby Zetherian settlements. Panic spread among the local officials. Many suggested evacuating the humans, fearing that their primitive ships could not survive the debris field. Marcus, however, remained calm. He quickly analyzed the situation, drawing on the knowledge he had gathered during the past days. "We can use coordinated maneuvers to shield the camp and redirect debris," he said firmly. His team followed his instructions, moving with precision and speed. The Empress watched as Marcus orchestrated the defense. He deployed small, portable energy shields around key points, instructed teams to divert debris using gravity-manipulating devices, and coordinated evacuation routes for personnel. The humans worked in perfect synchronization, each member understanding their role clearly. As the asteroid approached, a large fragment broke through the outer defense, threatening to collapse part of the platform. Without hesitation, Marcus grabbed a portable stabilizer and rushed to reinforce the structure. His movements were confident, almost graceful, as he balanced risk and efficiency. From her concealed position, Lysara felt a thrill of respect she had rarely experienced. Marcus was not a warrior in the traditional Zetherian sense. He did not rely on brute strength or intimidation. Instead, he used his mind, his courage, and his ability to inspire those around him. By the time the asteroid passed, the camp remained intact. Minor damages occurred, but the human team had prevented disaster for both species. Zetherian officials were stunned. The young Empress had witnessed something extraordinary. A human soldier, facing danger without fear, using intellect and teamwork to save lives. After the crisis, the humans returned to their temporary quarters, exhausted but unharmed. Marcus sat quietly, reviewing the events and ensuring every detail was recorded for future reference. Lysara, hidden in the shadows, noticed the calm precision with which he worked. Even under pressure, he remained composed. The following day, she made a decision. Though protocol forbade direct interaction without ceremony, she approached Marcus discreetly at the observation platform where he was examining planetary scans. "You are remarkable," she said, her voice soft but carrying authority. Marcus looked up, slightly startled. "Your Majesty," he said politely, bowing slightly. "I only did what any responsible soldier would." Lysara smiled faintly. Most would have panicked. Most would have relied on Zetherian technology alone. Yet you think differently. You adapt, you lead, and you protect. That is rare. Marcus nodded. "I believe that every being has the potential to solve problems if they approach them logically and with patience. That is what humanity has learned over centuries." The Empress tilted her head, intrigued. She had underestimated humans, thinking them weak and limited. Marcus had shown her that they were resilient, clever, and capable of remarkable courage. Over the next several days, she continued to observe. She watched him interact with other humans, noting his ability to inspire trust and loyalty. Unlike many Zetherians, Marcus never demanded obedience. He earned respect through clarity and fairness. One afternoon, during a training exercise simulating a hostile alien incursion, Marcus demonstrated strategic thinking that surpassed even Zetherian expectations. He anticipated enemy movements, identified potential weaknesses, and coordinated both humans and Zetherians to achieve an objective with minimal risk. Lysara could not hide her fascination. She realized that humans had a different kind of power, not dominance or hierarchy, but ingenuity and courage. They were unpredictable, yes, but in a way that made them formidable. As the humans prepared to depart Xylaris, Lysara felt an unusual hesitation. She had been trained to view humans as secondary, yet she could not deny the admiration growing inside her. Marcus had shown her a glimpse of what humans could achieve, and it challenged everything she had believed about superiority and strength. The night before their departure, she visited the observation balcony again. The stars above Xylaris sparkled like distant beacons of possibility. Marcus's team moved below, preparing their equipment with efficiency and care. Lysara watched quietly, considering the strange mixture of respect and curiosity she felt. She realized that humans were different, not weaker. Their resilience, creativity, and capacity for cooperation made them unpredictable and dangerous in a way few Zetherians understood. And Marcus, in particular, embodied all of these qualities in a single, small figure. Though she would not admit it to her counselors or anyone in her court, Lysara had been changed by what she had witnessed. The human soldier had shown her a different kind of strength. One built not on tradition or inherited power, but on courage, intelligence, and the quiet determination to face challenges no matter the odds. As the human shuttle lifted off the platform the next day, Lysara stood silently, watching Marcus and his team ascend into the stars. She did not speak, nor did she move. She simply observed, feeling a deep respect for the human soldier whose calm confidence had left a lasting impression on the young empress. Somewhere in the vastness of space, humanity continued its journey. And though Lysara would not say it aloud, she knew that humans like Marcus could achieve things even Zetherians could not imagine. In that moment, she understood that strength came in many forms, and the galaxy was wide enough for all of them. And as the stars blinked against the void, she silently vowed to remember this lesson that courage, intelligence, and adaptability often mattered more than raw power, and that even a single human soldier could leave an indelible mark on the universe. The morning sun rose over the crystalline towers of Xylaris, casting long, shimmering rays across the imperial palace. The city was alive with activity, yet an unusual stillness hung over the upper platforms. The human delegation was preparing to depart, and the young empress, Lysara, could not take her eyes off the approaching shuttle. Captain Marcus Hale and his team moved with calm efficiency, checking equipment, reviewing logs, and ensuring that every detail of their departure was precise. Despite the previous day's challenges, the asteroid incident, complex simulations, and diplomatic negotiations, Marcus appeared unshaken. He radiated the quiet confidence of a soldier who knew his duty and trusted in his abilities. From her balcony, Lysara watched him. She had observed humans in many situations: battle simulations, problem-solving exercises, and crisis management, but nothing had prepared her for the effect Marcus had on her perception. He had proven that humans, though small in stature, could rival Zetherians in courage, ingenuity, and leadership. As the shuttle engines powered up, sending a soft hum across the platform, Lysara approached the observation balcony's edge. The wind carried the faint scent of Xylaris crystals, a familiar fragrance she had always associated with her empire's power. Today, however, that power seemed different to her. It felt distant, almost secondary, compared to the resilience and determination she had seen in one small human. The shuttle began to ascend, slowly at first, then faster as it left the platform behind. Marcus glanced out of the viewport, meeting her gaze across the distance. For a moment, there was understanding between them, not words, but recognition. Marcus had seen the curiosity and respect in her eyes. Lysara had seen the quiet strength in his. The shuttle passed into orbit, and the city below shrank into a mosaic of light and crystal. Lysara remained on the balcony, silent, her thoughts racing. She reflected on the past days, The human ingenuity that had prevented disaster, the calm leadership that had inspired both humans and Zetherians, and the courage that had shone brightest when danger threatened all life on the platform. Her advisors approached cautiously, breaking the silence. "Your Majesty," one said, "the humans leave. Their mission is complete. Shall we discuss the next diplomatic steps?" Lysara shook her head, her gaze still fixed on the distant shuttle. "Not yet," she replied softly. "There are things we must consider first." Later, in the private chambers of the palace, she pondered what she had witnessed. Zetherians had long prided themselves on their dominance, their advanced technology, and their strategic minds. Yet Marcus had demonstrated that strength could come from unexpected places. Humans were adaptable, inventive, and cooperative in ways her species often overlooked. They did not seek power for its own sake. They sought solutions. And in doing so, they grew stronger. The Empress realized that Marcus's impact went beyond the immediate events of the asteroid crisis. He had challenged assumptions about superiority, demonstrating that a single human could influence outcomes even in the heart of the Zetherian Empire. That realization lingered in her mind, unsettling yet inspiring. Over the following days, Lysara initiated private briefings with her counselors. She discussed strategies for future cooperation, potential alliances, and ways to learn from humans without compromising Zetherian pride. Some counselors were skeptical, warning that humans were unpredictable and fragile. Lysara disagreed. She had seen firsthand what humans could accomplish when they combined courage, intellect, and teamwork. Meanwhile, on the human shuttle, Marcus reflected on his time on Xylaris. He reviewed logs, noting the differences between human and Zetherian approaches to problem-solving. He had gained insight into alien technology, strategy, and culture, but more importantly, he had left a mark on someone who mattered, the young Empress who had doubted him at first. He thought about the moment of silent acknowledgement they had shared as the shuttle ascended. Marcus understood that influence did not always come from words or commands. Sometimes, quiet action and integrity could inspire respect far greater than any speech or demonstration of power. The journey back to the human fleet was calm, giving Marcus time to consider what lay ahead. Humanity had many challenges in the galaxy: hostile environments, unknown species, and the vast distances between stars, but he felt a renewed confidence in their place among the stars. The encounter with Lysara and her people was a reminder that even in the most advanced civilizations, humility, cooperation, and ingenuity mattered. Back on Xylaris, Lysara returned to her observation balcony often, gazing at the stars where the human shuttle had disappeared. She studied maps, star charts, and reports, trying to understand how humans might interact with other species in the galaxy. The experience had awakened something in her, a curiosity about other worlds, a respect for those who approached challenges differently, and a recognition that strength was not measured by power alone. She began to implement subtle changes in her court. Training programs were adjusted to encourage creativity and adaptability. Young officers were encouraged to think independently and collaborate with allies rather than rely solely on hierarchy. Even her counselors noticed a shift in her thinking, an openness to new perspectives, sparked by one human soldier. Weeks passed, and reports from other sectors of the galaxy reached Xylaris. Humans had begun new missions, exploring distant systems, establishing contact with unknown species, and demonstrating ingenuity in unexpected ways. Lysara followed their progress closely, often noting similarities between Marcus's methods and the actions of other humans. One evening, as she stood on the balcony watching the twin suns set, she reflected on the lesson Marcus had taught her. Strength was multifaceted. It was found in courage and intellect, in adaptability and cooperation. Even the smallest, seemingly fragile beings could leave a profound impact. She smiled faintly, remembering the human's quiet composure, his careful planning, and his unwavering commitment to protect life. In many ways, Marcus had been a teacher, showing her that respect and admiration were earned through action, not status. The memory of his departure stayed with her, a silent inspiration. She knew that the galaxy was changing, that humans would rise to challenges in ways Zetherians could not always predict, and she welcomed it not as a threat, but as an opportunity for growth, understanding, and cooperation. Months later, Lysara prepared a message to the human fleet, a formal gesture of recognition. She acknowledged Marcus's leadership and humanity's ingenuity, offering a foundation for future collaboration. It was subtle, diplomatic, and precise, just like Marcus himself had been. Though she would not admit it publicly, Lysara looked forward to the day they would meet again. She imagined discussions of strategy, technology, and exploration, and perhaps even mutual learning between their peoples. In her mind, Marcus had opened a door to a new era, one where humans and Zetherians could work together, not as rivals, but as partners in the vast, uncharted galaxy. As the stars blinked into view against the darkening sky, Lysara felt a sense of quiet satisfaction. The human soldier had left, but his influence remained, shaping her perspective and, perhaps, the future of interstellar relations. Strength was not always loud. It was not always visible. Sometimes, it was found in small, steadfast acts, in courage, under pressure, and in the integrity of one determined individual. And so, the galaxy waited, wide and full of possibilities. Humanity had proven itself, not through domination or aggression, but through ingenuity, resilience, and courage. The young empress had witnessed it firsthand, and had learned that even the smallest of actions could leave an enduring mark. In that vast silence between the stars, Lysara smiled, knowing that humans like Marcus Hale were not just survivors, they were pioneers, capable of inspiring respect, changing minds, and shaping the future of the universe. And though words were not spoken, a silent promise lingered in the air. One day, paths would cross again. And when they did, humans and Zetherians would meet not as conquerors and subjects, but as equals, guided by mutual respect and shared purpose. The stars above Xylaris gleamed with promise. Somewhere, Marcus and his team continued their journey, unaware of the lasting impression they had made. But for Empress Lysara, the lesson was clear. Greatness was not always measured by power, size, or technology. Sometimes, it was measured by courage, intelligence, and the quiet determination to rise above every challenge. And in that quiet observation, watching the stars twinkle like distant beacons of hope, Lysara knew that humanity had left an indelible mark on the Zetherian Empire. And perhaps, one day, on the galaxy itself.